Wait on the official decision. Magsayo looking confident. Gary Russell Jr. got his hand raised. Magsayo wins by decision. Man. You know, I can't even just call it an upset. It's an upset. But I told y'all. Magsayo was going to upset Gary Russell Jr. However it had to happen. I knew it was going to happen, man. Look, Gary Russell, a lot of ring rust, a lot of inactivity. First time in the ring, wasn't almost 2 years, if not 2 years, and he's fighting Magsayo, an undefeated, hungry, well, champion now, but he was an undefeated, hungry contender. Man, obviously Gary Russell Jr., round 5, I believe it was, Gary Russell Jr. hurt his shoulder. He jabbed Magsayo, and you can see him grimace in pain. And the rest of the fight, he did not throw another jab. Between rounds 6 and 12, Gary Russell Jr. didn't throw one jab. Magsayo out-jabbed Gary Russell Jr. 203 to 64. Easy. Unanimous decision. Yeah, Magsayo, he got the belt. He got the WBC hat. Man, you know, when this is my ticket. This is my ticket. Right here. Oh, we got to get it in there. I told y'all, Magsayo was going to handle his business. I felt it, man. Gary Russell, he wasn't talking confident. Before the fight, I mean, he used the word "if" a lot when he was talking. Basically, you know, if I had to just give this fight a quick recap, it was more so Magsayo effective aggressiveness. He controlled the ring, controlled the center of the ring majority of the fight. He threw more punches naturally, but even before round 5, he was throwing more punches before Gary Russell Jr. Grimaced in pain like that. And I do believe that that was a pre-existing injury that Gary Russell Jr. had. I believe he had a pre-existing injury coming into the fight. Gary Russell Jr., he put up a valiant effort. To say he was fighting with one hand, he hit Magnifico a lot with that backhand too. Showed good hand speed, but he didn't let his hands go. He didn't throw enough punches. He didn't throw a jab after the 6th round. That, need I say more? Magsayo was the more aggressive fighter, cutting off the ring, letting his hands go. Wasn't always landing flush, but man, he dug some incredible shots to the body and had some pretty impressive uppercuts through the fight. Hopefully, you know, this might not be such a bad thing because we were only seeing Gary Russell Jr. once every blue moon. It's amazing he still had the belt and was never stripped. You know, I don't get into the politics of the why he still had the belt because I thought he deserved it. But I wanted to see him more as a fan of boxing. I like Gary Russell Jr. I wanted to see him more. And with him losing his belt, hopefully he fights a little bit more now, you know. And I do feel like Mark will defend that belt a little bit more than Gary Russell Jr. did. So, you know, it's a good thing to see a new champion in that weight division kind of shake things up a little bit. Gary Russell Jr.'s had that belt. Man, he's the longest reigning champion, WBC title holder. He's the longest reigning title holder they have. He had that belt a long time, but shit, he wouldn't fight neither. A lot of times there was a lot of inactive time in between there. So, yeah, back to the drawing board for Gary Russell Jr. I hope he heals up, gets himself together, and comes back stronger in this next fight. You know, hopefully they might run it back. You know, they're talking right now. I have to go back and listen because I have it on mute, being that we're doing this post-fight analysis. But yeah, my take on it was just effective aggressiveness by Magsayo. That's what it was. Effective aggressiveness. Gary Russell Jr. pop shot on him, but you know he didn't do enough work, and that's pretty much all I got. You know, y'all be sure to like and subscribe. You know, it's much definitely appreciated. But we're gonna be signing off. Mark Magsayo has defeated Gary Russell Jr.